Are you back in the ocean these days,
Yeah,
Because
mate,
you had I know you had a bit of what I considered to be quite a strange phobia. More,
Yeah.
a phobia is a fear that is ungrounded, isn't it? It's sort of like a fear of dying in a plane crash when it's unrealistic that will happen.
Sure.
And that's sort of what it seemed like with you.
Yeah, no, it was certainly not unfounded.
Right.
It was based on reality.
Whoa.
In terms of my fear of this. I used to live, I don't know if I told you this, in a coastal village there up the coast.
Yeah.
And it was a very, very picturesque kind of seaside town, I guess you'd call it. And the big attraction of the place was the ocean there.
Yeah.
I used to get a lot of tourists. And we had a scenario where a great white shark was just suddenly started turning up at the beach. And then someone was taken by the shark. It was pretty horrific. And
that was just the height of summer or something?
Yeah, it was the height of summer. And the
God.
tragedy was the mayor of our little district there. He was saying that, we can't let it out, because I was actually in law enforcement then at the time,
Right.
while I was working there. And he was saying, look, we've got to close, we've got to shut the beaches, mate.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
There's a huge shark out there. We can't carry on like this.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it? You've got to shut it.
It's a no-brainer, mate. And then, he was like, we can't do that because it's the tourist season. If we shut down the beaches, no one's going to come. We're going to lose out big. And I was like, there's a goddamn killer shark out there, for God's sake. And then, some limbs were found and stuff, and we went on a hunt for the shark, and we actually caught a shark.
Really?
But it turned out that wasn't the shark that we were looking for. So we got a specialist in.
Yeah.
A guy that sort of specialised in sort of killer sharks.
Right.
And he was saying, after we cut open the shark, nah, that's not the shark, mate. I'm telling you right now, that is not the shark. And the mayor was like, let's just tell everyone it is the shark. And I was like, no, we can't. The people are getting killed out there. And anyway, eventually took another couple of people, and we ended up hiring a shark killing specialist.
Oh, yeah.
A guy that hunted sharks.
Right.
Quinn, I think was his name, or something like that. And he...
Quint.
No, Quinn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Quinn. And so we got him, we flew him over. And I know he sailed over in his own boat, actually.
Yeah.
And went out and hunted this guy. And he could tell by the circumference of the bite on things that he'd seen that it was a big shark. And anyway, long story short, mate, the bloody shark attacked Quinn on the boat when I was on the boat with Quinn. And the boat went under. Quinn bloody got absolutely munted by the shark, got chewed on. And I was just floating in sort of flotsam and jetsam on the water there. And I could see the shark coming up to me, and I saw there was an oxygen canister, which I grabbed out of the water, which is just floating in the water, and I chucked it at this bloody gigantic great white shark, and it took it between its teeth there and its jaw.
Right.
And I managed to get up on the flotsam, and I had got my gun out, and it was hurtling towards me. And I just, boom, shot the oxygen tank, and it just exploded everywhere. The shark just blew to smithereens, mate.
Right.
Just all over, just bloody shark everywhere. And that was the end of that. So, yeah, that's why I had a bit of a fear of going in the water. Because of that experience, basically.
Big shark, was it?
Huge, mate.
Yeah.
I think it was the biggest great white in the area they've ever seen.
Right. Do they have big jaws?
Oh, massive jaws.
Big jaws.
I mean, it could have swallowed me whole without actually touching the sides.
Because that is the plot of the movie Jaws.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a movie directed by Steven Spielberg called Jaws.
Never heard of it.
And that's the plot to it. That's exactly the plot to it.
Right
down to the name.
Right, well, I've never heard of Jaws.
The captain is Quint.
Well.
And his is Quinn. That's pretty...
Yeah, no. Seriously, I've never heard of Jaws.
Well.
That's...
Well, I'd suggest to you then that Steven Spielberg owes you some money, man. Because he's stolen. Because what year was that?
74, I think it was.
Yeah, right.
74, yeah.
That's the year before Jaws.
Bloody horrific, mate. I tell you.
But
Still have nightmares about it now.